Fade in. Interior, basement, continuous. Hank Gordon, 60s, salt and pepper hair, bib overalls, pushing a wheelchair containing his wife, May Gordon, 60s.
Now, I'll just get you settled in, okay, honey?
He wheels her through the open door.
You make yourself comfy, my dear. I'll get the rest of your things in a little bit. We've got some visitors coming today. What's that, darling? Yes, of course you'll get to meet them.
He parks the chair, kisses May on the top of her head, walks to the stairs, switches the light off. Exterior, store, day. The sign above the door reads, Mike and Eddy's Antiques. Mike Monroe, 30s, out of shape, balding, driving a white van, pulls up in front of the store, honks the horn. He lights a cigarette, looks at his watch. Eddy Haas, 40s, tall, clean-shaven, loose-fitting clothes, closes the shop door, locks it, walks to the van. Through the open window.
Do you have to?
Mike takes a last drag on his smoke, tosses it to the gutter. Interior, van, road, day. Eddy, in the passenger seat, blows into his hands.
Cold out today. I hope this trip isn't like last week. I just hate time wasters. It costs us money.
This guy feels genuine enough. Got a good vibe about him.
Eddy nods. Interior, exterior, van, road, day. Eddy looks out the window. Autumn trees are a riot of color. They turn onto a muddy track.
Looks like we're going cross-country again.
Mike pats the dashboard.
Little old lady hasn't let us down yet, have you, girl?
Interior, exterior, van, muddy road, day. On the verge, at the entrance to the property, a mailbox in the shape of a train carriage with Gordon in italics.
Nice piece of work in that.
Sure is. Sign of things to come.
They laugh, continue up the track. On the verges either side, roached-out cars, vans covered in fauna and flora. Exterior, interior, van, Gordon property, continuous. Up ahead, some old wooden buildings nestle in a grove of trees. A large barn sits in the background.
This must be it. Pretty cool.
Nice little setup.
Exterior, Gordon residence, day. Hank watches the van roll up. Two men get out. He pulls a woolen hat from one of the pockets, puts it on.
Jeez, Hank. I thought it was cold back home. I'm Eddy. This is Mike. We spoke on the phone last week.
They shake hands.
Got its own climate hereabouts. Guessing I've gotten used to it over the years. You boys want a coffee, or shall we get on?
We stop for food on the way. Maybe get a coffee after the pick?
Hank smiles, reveals a gold tooth.
Thrill of the hunt, eh?
You know how it is. We're addicts. Just like you.
Okay, boys, I won't hold you back any longer.
Hank walks them towards the barn. Exterior, interior, barn, day. Hank takes a bunch of keys from his pocket, unlocks the padlock, swings open the door, flicks the lights on. They peer inside.
Well, boys, what you think?
Christ, Hank. You weren't kidding when you said you had stock.
Don't stand out there speechless. Dig in.
Interior, barn, continuous. The building's full of period bikes, old shop mannequins, a vast array of vintage signs and other antiques.
Where do we start?
Eddy's already on the move.
Look at the Schwinns, Mike. They're almost new. Hank, I don't think one trip will do.
Suit yourselves, boys. It's all gotta go. No pockets in a shroud.
Mike finds a stack of tin lunchboxes. He opens a few.
Ed, these all have the original thermoses. Do you believe that?
Hank closes the door over.
Got stuff in the hayloft as well.
He looks up to direct their gaze.
It will probably take us most of the day to get through this.
You boys take as long as you need. When you're finished in here, I'll show you the good stuff in the house. I got a couple of chores needs doing. Make a list of what you're interested in.
Hank leaves, shuts the door.
This place should keep us going for now. No more fucking road trips for a while. It's a gold mine, Ed.
I think you need to calm the fuck down, Mike, and take a good look through what's here before making any plans for your retirement.
Mike nods. Interior, barn, day. Eddy writes in a small notebook. Mike picks up an engineer's lamp, wipes it free of cobwebs.
That should bring at least $400, maybe $500.
And then some. I've never seen one with this many articulations.
Mike sets the lamp down. They move on. Interior, sitting room, Hank's house, day. Hank walks to the stove, puts some small logs inside, closes the door. He looks at a framed photo on a side table, picks it up. The photo, Hank's wife, May, in her wedding dress.
Not long now, my sweetheart, not long now. We'll teach these bastards a lesson for sure.
Hank kisses the photo, sets it back on the table. He walks to the stove, lifts the coffee pot, pours 2 cups. Taking a small vial from his pocket, Hank puts a few drops of the clear liquid in each cup, stirs them. He discards the spent container, walks to the door. Interior, barn, continuous. Mike walks into a spider's web, wipes it from his face. Eddy looks around. The room is filled with tables covered in drop cloths. They pull back the sheet on the first table. It holds a large collection of European goods.
Jesus Christ, Mike. Do you know how much this stuff's worth?
Mike picks up a cylindrical pot.
Thousands?
He sets it down carefully. The barn door creaks open.
You boys in the loft? Be careful, the floorboards ain't as strong as they used to be. Brought you a coffee, best get it while it's hot.
Mike and Eddy look at the floor.
Thanks for the heads up and the coffee. It will be another couple of minutes, if that's okay.
Fine by me. You boys come in the house when you're done.
Sounds good to us.
Hank leaves. The barn door creaks shut. Interior, exterior, barn, day. Eddy and Mike climb down from the loft. They stand inside the barn drinking coffee.
Hank's retired. The old fucker probably needs the cash. We'll start low. See if the old bastard takes the bait.
Sounds good to me.
They set the cups down, walk in the direction of the house. Exterior, interior, Hank's house, day. Eddy and Mike set up on the porch. Mike knocks on the door.
Come on in.
Entering, the room is filled with items relating to automotive memorabilia. Eddy and Mike take their coats off, walk to the sitting room. Hank stands with a coffee pot.
You boys want another?
He motions for them to sit.
Geez, Hank, you got good taste. This must be one of the biggest and best collections I think we've ever seen.
Hank walks to the table, cups in hand, sets them down.
It's been my passion for many years, my late wife's too. In fact, most of what is up in the loft there is hers. She had a great eye for anything continental.
Mike and Eddy sip their coffee.
Is that your wife in the photo?
Points to the side table.
Sure is. They broke the mold with that little lady.
Eddy coughs.
We've made a list of the things we'd be interested in.
He puts the notebook on the table. Hank sits, thumbs through it.
You boys certainly know your stuff.
We really like the engineer's lamp. Could you do that for 75, 80?
Hank stares at Eddy for a moment. A forced smile breaks across his face.
We'll get to costs later. Finish your coffee first.
Mike spots a very early Wurlitzer jukebox sitting in the corner of the living room.
Is your jukebox real or repro?
Hank laughs.
Thought you'd know by now, I don't do repro. It's the real deal or nothing. Why don't I show you the rest of my things?
Interior, living room, day. Apart from the jukebox, there are a few period electrical items here and there. Hank flips a switch. The room fills with light from a vast array of fluorescents.
These are my personal favorites, and before you ask, they're not for sale, sorry.
How long is it taking you to acquire this stuff?
I started when I was young and it's never left me. There are always good pieces that will catch your eye. A pleasant addiction to have, don't you think?
They walk back into the sitting room, finish their coffee. Interior, sitting room, day. Mike and Eddy walk to the front door.
Hey boys, before we talk money, I never got to show you my man cave. It's in the basement.
Interior, basement, continuous. Hank pulls a cord, a plethora of lights blink into life. A small round table sits to one side, with 3 period rattan wheelchairs around it.
You boys fancy a beer? Take a seat, they're old but real comfy.
Mike and Eddy sit.
I gotta hand it to you, Hank. This is the best setup I've ever seen. You are a connoisseur.
Hank returns with the beer.
That's mighty kind of you, Eddy.
He lifts his glass.
Your health.
Cheers.
Cheers.
They touch glasses. Mike wipes a small film of sweat from his brow.
Sure is a lot warmer down here.
Hank smiles, drinks his beer. Mike's gaze is drawn to a door at the far end of the room. He wipes the beer froth from his lips with the back of his hand, points at the door.
Hey, Hank, you got any more surprises for us?
Hank laughs.
Sure, finish your beer first.
Eddy rubs his eyes, looks at Mike. He can't focus properly. He looks at his beer glass.
This is pretty strong stuff.
Hank walks to the far door. He opens it.
Are you ready for the big reveal, boys?
Mike and Eddy attempt to get up, but can't move. They look at each other.
What the fuck have you done this? You crazy old bastard.
Hank reaches inside the door, flips another switch, which lights up the corridor beyond. He turns his attention to his guests.
No, Eddy. You boys did it to yourselves. You've come here with the intent to rip me off.
Hank walks slowly towards them, a menacing look on his face.
Now, boys, we come to the cost of your greed.
Eddy and Mike struggle in their chairs. Interior, corridor, day. Hank wheels them forward. Perspex cells sit in the darkness. Hank leans in close to Eddy's face.
I've known people like you all my life. You come along with a handful of grubby money and a mouthful of bullshit.
Hank smiles, holds Mike's face in his hands.
My wife May knew what was going on down here from the start, but she never interfered with my work.
Hank steps over to the wall, puts the cell lights on. Each cell is filled with bodies in different stages of decay. Mike and Eddy, horrified, try to scream.
Enough of that. The missus is eager to meet you pair. I've told her all about your visit.
Eddy and Mike are almost unconscious, their eyes heavy. Hank stops outside the last cell that's occupied. Inside is the decaying corpse of Hank's wife, May.
Hi, honey. These are the boys I was telling you about. Now you have all the company you need down here.
Hank wheels Mike and Eddy to their individual cells. He walks to the door, smiles, switches the lights off. On black, card, 6 months later. Interior, Hank's house, day. Hank sits watching the news. The TV. Exterior, Mike and Eddy's store, day.